Good day, friends. Welcome to Tuesday in the Coffee Run Live. It is episode 322, 22 ducks. 302 little ducks. How silly of me. Let's just move on from there. All right, so what I wanted to chat with you a little bit about today was I was just interviewed earlier today, which I spoke to you about a bit while we're late today. My cat has to land on the very noisy paper and then proceed to sit on it. How freaking annoying. I tell you what, it's lucky this cat is cute. Otherwise, I would be very, very grumpy. So, off the back of this interview, it was really interesting. So it was for a real estate podcast. A gentleman by the name of Kevin, total badass. Hey, Sandy. And it was really funny. Like, we were chatting before the interview went live, and he said these are the things we're going to talk about, which is around how to market yourself like a rock star. We looked at polarization. We looked at why being vanilla is costing you clients. We looked at swearing in your marketing. Hey, Angela. And he said, I know what your opinion is on this because I've watched some of your videos and I know that you're a swearer. I said, well, yes, I am, actually. And, lovely to meet. But one of the things that we were chatting about that I thought was really interesting and how this applies to you, like we're seeing this a really big trend with, swearing in titles of books. So we've got like The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck. We've got the life-changing art of, Unfuck Your Finances. There's a whole bunch of different ones, right? Hey, Anne. And I guess like for me, the thing is that, you know what, swearing is something that most people have got an opinion on, right? Either you like it or you don't like it, or you kind of sit on the fence and you're like, I don't really care. But here's the thing, your audience will care. Your audience will care whether you do or whether you don't, or whether you sit on the fence. So it's really kind of interesting, depending on how you are and how you show up and the language that you use. First and foremost, it's really important that you are being you. So just because it's really trendy right now to swear, to put swearing in your headlines, to put swearing in your book titles, to put, I follow a woman on Facebook that's got a page called FAR, F-A-R, second word is Q, K-E-W, so fuck you. And it's really hilarious. She's wildly funny, and she has cushions with swearing on it, tea towels with swearing on it, and in my opinion, the most politically incorrect gifts and things like that you could possibly find. It's wildly hilarious. I think it's really funny. But I know that there would be a lot of people out there who are like, don't do it. And I'm like, yep, that's really funny. Now, I wouldn't, for the most part, I don't buy things from her. I don't want to have swearing on my cushions sitting in my lounge. I don't want to have, pens with see you next Tuesday on them. That's my personal opinion. But, I don't care if other people swear, and I don't really care if other people use those words. But from how you do this, it's got to be authentic to you. So if you wouldn't swear in your normal everyday life, if you wouldn't swear, and then don't freaking do it, okay? And the other thing that came up as I was chatting to Kevin today, it's like, I like if I can swear like the best of them, in different circumstances. And he said, but on Talkback Radio, even it's a Talkback Radio show as well, it's like there's no way that I would swear. I said, that's right. And I think part of it is, yeah, absolutely, Sandy, being authentic and being yourself is so crucial and so important. I'm a swearer. I always have been, but I'm also really respectful of an environment. So I don't go onto somebody else's podcast, for instance, and swear. I just don't do it. I don't even say bullshit. I'll say BS, right? Because I'm respectful of that it's their domain. I'm respectful of their audience and things like that. So I'm really very aware of that. Now, I'm still being me. I'm still being authentic. I'm still like, if I say BS instead of bullshit, it's still totally me. I'm just not going to go and drop some big F-bombs on somebody else's podcast. And I very, very rarely, in fact, I don't. In all my guest articles that I've written, so for Koshi, for like when I'm on TV, I've just finished an article for OK Magazine that'll be published in February, I think. I've got articles going up in franchise business. I've got articles going up in flying solo. There's articles going up everywhere. I don't swear in those either, because it's not my audience that I'm talking to, right? It'd be a bit like being invited onto somebody else's stage and talking to them like they're your own people. Like, if they're preconditioned already or pre-indoctrinated to you and how you are, then that's totally fine. And depending on the rapport that you've got in the room, like, maybe it's okay. But if you're in someone else's room, if you're speaking to somebody else's audience, if things like that, and if it's not authentic, well, I mean, if swearing is authentic to you and if it's in line with your personal brand, then that's great. For me, part of the reason that I swear is because I do. The second part of it is to show you guys that if I can drop F-bombs, if I can do all of these other crazy things and speak in the way that I do and just be like, I don't give a fuck, like, this is just how I am, and if you don't like it, that's fine, go find someone else to follow, then I know that I will, in quotes, lose some people, right, along the way, and that's totally fine. The worst thing would be for you guys to end up in a room with me and I drop an F-bomb and you're like, what? That's ridiculous. And, you get pissed off, then, you're not going to, I don't want that to happen. So I kind of like get you guys conditioned, and I push the boundaries a bit. I mean, it's not really pushing the boundaries in this day and age, but I want to show you that if I can get away with doing this sort of stuff, and if you're not a swearer, and if you're not bothered about dropping F-bombs and everything else, then it's totally doable for you to be visible in you being you, right? And this is the point. This is, the thing that is going to draw people into you is not the fact about whether you swear or not, right? The people aren't going to be drawn to you because you have an opinion on how crap Post-it notes are, or how great they are, or how bullshit it is that every man and his dog is allergic to freaking gluten at the moment, which, I don't actually have a problem with. I'm just trying to think of some polarizing thoughts. There are people who will love Trump. There are people who hate Trump. There are people who are passionate about religion, and there are people who are absolutely, completely agnostic and won't touch it with a 10-foot pole. There are other people who are like, oh, you've got to be completely detox your whole entire life. And there are other people who are like, screw it, we're going to die anyway. Let's just do what we need to do. People aren't going to be necessarily drawn to you because of all of that. People are drawn to you because of who you are, because of how you are, because of the way that you articulate things, because of the stories that you tell, because it's how you make them feel, because you'll empower them to be, do, and have everything that they want, or because they feel like you've got their back, or because they feel like you've got all of the answers. Or, for me, I think the biggest thing, the ripples through everything that I spoke about on this interview today was really about, I just want to give you guys permission, not that you need it. Some of you feel like you do, but you actually don't. I want to give you permission to be you, right? I want you to feel like it's okay for you to show up as who you are, how you are, without you feeling like you have to censor yourself in order to be seen, in order to be visible, and in order to stand out and cut through the freaking noise, right? I want you to be you. So for me, with the way that I show up, the way I show up on my Facebook Lives, the way that I show up in my blogs, the way that I show up in the imagery, the way that I show up in photos, all of that is because I gave myself permission somewhere along the way, way back not in 2010 when I first started, because I was me, but I was the very conservative version of me. Coming out of 12 years of corporate banking, it somewhat stifled my personality for a whole bunch of reasons, which I've shared with you guys actually recently, about being hauled into an office saying that nobody likes my funny jokes and nobody appreciates the way that I interact, so I should just keep a lid on it and, just do my job. I was told that when I was 19 years old. Don't have a personality, Nicola. Just show up, do the job, be transactional, and you'll be good. It's like, whoa. That was a really great way to really put a massive dent in someone's confidence. So please don't ever do that. So I think to me, like the biggest, hey Bonnie, hey Kelly, one of the biggest things that you could possibly do is to be you. And I don't want you to feel like you have to censor yourself in order to show up. Okay, because you don't. Yeah, you've got to be you, but I want you to be the best freaking version of you. And sometimes the best version of you might be that you're swearing, right? And other times it might not be. It's totally up to you. But just because there seems to be this trend with, people swearing or people not swearing or whatever, it doesn't mean that you need to jump on that bandwagon. It's got to feel right for you. And if it does feel right for you, then freaking go for it. There will be people who love you for it, and there will be people who don't love you for it. I've had psychologists who are some of the most outwardly conservative kind of people by programs of mine because I swear, and they told me they bought because of like queen of the motherfucking internet. I had psychologists buy that program, and the feedback that they told me was that they bought it because of the name of the program. I mean, obviously the content was amazing and the value proposition was amazing, but to have somebody to have some particular people who are outwardly typically very conservative, to say Nicola, I bought this program because you swore in the title of it. I was like, okay, wow. The other comment that they made though is that I bought because of the name of the program, but I don't swear. Right? So just because someone doesn't do something themselves doesn't mean that they don't like it in someone else. Right? So don't assume that, I can't possibly swear because, my audience doesn't swear. Just because your audience doesn't swear doesn't mean they're like, you're a total badass. I want to be able to do that. I wear gold sequin jackets. It doesn't mean that you would. I mean, I don't know why anyone would want to not wear a gold sequin jacket, but I wear a gold sequin jacket or a silver sequin jacket or a sparkly. I've got some of the most amazing stage clothes these days. I love it. But just because I wear them doesn't mean that you have to. It doesn't mean that you don't admire it in someone else. Think about fashion. We see it happen all the time. Right? We can admire what someone's wearing. We might not wear it ourselves, but it doesn't mean that we don't really love and appreciate it on someone else. Music is the same. We can appreciate that, I'm not a huge fan of AC/DC, right? But I can appreciate that they have got some music lots of music actually, that a lot of people really, really love. I don't love all of Guns N' Roses stuff. I know. And I guess where I'm going with that is that just because it's not something that I don't necessarily listen to doesn't mean that I don't appreciate the experience or the longevity in the industry that those people have had. So I guess one of the key messages that I really wanted to leave with you today that came off out of the back of, and I was just, pleasantly reminded of with this interview with Kevin, is that it's people are going to be pissed off regardless of whether you do something or whether you don't. They might be like, oh, what are you saying, Angela? 99% of people swear in their minds and envy people that dare to let the words leave their lips when required. Abso-freaking-lutely. You're completely right. And thank you for articulating that, because I completely agree with you. So, don't be afraid to be you. Right? Don't try and censor yourself. If there is something that you just feel almost called to say, if you feel like your soul is almost bursting out of your chest, and there's this thing that you've just got to say, and if it entails swearing for you to be able to really convey your passion or your pissed offness or your love or your hate for whatever it happens to be, I don't even have an example for you, then just don't censor yourself. Let the message be the message. Let the thing that needs to get out be the thing that needs to get out, because the people who love you for it will love you for it. The people who don't love you for it will not love you for it. One of the things that I said yesterday, which was a really cool thing that I read, and I can't remember where I saw it, and I think I said pretty much the same thing yesterday, The people who are supposed to hear you will hear you, right? The people who are supposed to see you will see you, right? You're only hiding when you hide, when you pull back, when you censor yourself. The only people, you know, the people that aren't supposed to listen to you, the people like that who aren't really your people anyway, you're already invisible to them. So the people that are going to hear you are only going to hear you when you're showing up and you're being you, and they will love you for who you are, for how you are. They'll resonate with you for who you are and how you are. They will just be like, shut up and take my money because of who you are. And when you really give yourself permission, because you don't need it from me, when you give yourself permission to fully unleash, to let yourself out there, to let your whole personality, you know, like it's almost like I feel like glitter and rainbows and unicorn farts and whatever else, like confetti. It's like you just want to like scatter that shit all over everyone, right? And just create this really amazing, beautiful masterpiece with your words and your personality. And the people that are supposed to hear it, the people who will love you will just be like, oh, like you're an angel of something, of amazingness, whatever it is that you're doing. So trust in that. Trust in your message. Trust in absolutely who you are. And I think the thing is, one of the repercussions for not doing this is where you'll feel like you're being stifled, right? So this can show up in, like, to be a bit woo and a bit energetic about it for a second, it can show up in you feeling like you've got a sore throat. It can feel like things are really forced. It can feel like, you know, when you've got these ideas bubbling around in your head and you're like, okay, so how do I say this? How can I articulate this? When we go from our heart, like, because our heart is really where the message comes from, right? It's from our soul. It's from this place here. And then when we're like, how am I going to do that? We go from here up into our heads. And that's really where then, you know, if we try and censor and shift and change what needs to be said, it can feel really forced, and that leads to exhaustion. It can lead to disconnection from you, and I just think that the call and the pull is always going to be there. It's like the calling of your soul, right? And so you've really just got to, like, that doesn't go away. It just gets louder and louder and louder. So if you've ever had a sore throat, not through, you know, overuse or for being at a concert or dancing and singing on a Saturday night, for argument's sake, but if you felt like you're holding back, like that tends to manifest in your throat area. And it can feel really hard to speak. It can feel like it's being really forced. So the best thing that you can do is just unleash. Say whatever the heck it is that you need to say. And if it means that you swear, then freaking swear. If it means that you don't, then that's totally fine. But don't censor yourself. Say what needs to be said. Trust in your heart. Trust in your soul. Trust in the message that needs to be shared. And just get out there and do it. And really assume and trust. There's a lot of trusts. That the message is going to land with the people who really need to hear it. And those that don't need to hear it, well, that's fine. You know, it doesn't matter. Obviously, they don't need it. Might be not the right time. Might be not the right message. It might be not the right person delivering it. Whatever it is, it's not your responsibility to try and make yourself fit with someone else. That should just happen energetically and almost effortlessly anyway. So that is my little rant on that today. So it was really awesome to be interviewed, actually, because there's always these different things that tend to flow and different ways of saying things in a way that's going to be helpful for the audience that I know that I'm talking to, which is not always, you know, you guys. It's not always my audience that listens to these other interviews or podcasts or reads the articles that get put out for other people. So it's really kind of curious. I really enjoy that working it all in. So yeah, I think it's kind of cool. So there you go. It is, oh my God, it's only 2 sleeps until my birthday. I am so excited. I don't know why I'm so excited. In my journal today, I'm like, I'm not even really that excited about my birthday. I've been more excited about birthday month and helping you guys with all of these different things that we've been talking about. So I was going to unleash a new thing for you today, a birthday month release, and I have not done that because my journaling was cut short this morning with some coaching, with an impromptu coffee with my husband, and then the interview. So I have not done anything in terms of working out what my next release is going to be. So I thought today I would just remind you of what's already been unleashed. So we've got the $12.12 $1 million success mindset meditations, visualizations, and journal hacks. Normally $99 for $12.12. If you have not gone onto that yet, you need to do that. They are amazing. You should see some of the results that people are already getting. Like there's a private Facebook group, and they're just like the things that they're sharing is just really, really freaking awesome. $12.12. Give yourself the gift of $1 million mindset. It's really cool. We've also got the Business Badassery Mastermind that the December class went live on Friday, which is a Facebook ads masterclass. And I'm giving you guys access into there for $149 a month instead of $199 a month. So you can bounce in for a month, bounce out. It's up to you. It's only $149 and there's 3 contact points with me in there, as well as amazing content each and every month. So again, there's like, I don't know, what does that work out to be? Like $37 a week. I think most people probably spend more on coffee. So total no-brainer to jump into that. I released the retreat as well, that comes along with 12 weeks of free one-on-one coaching. That is a thing that's done by application. So if you're curious about that, make sure you message me. And I feel like there was a 4th thing, but I can't remember what that was. So let's not worry about it because I can't remember what it was. And we broke into song, which is also very curious. All right, my friends, I'm going to love you and leave you. There is a post that I put up last night that is a very boring but colorful grid that's got the different birthday releases in there. So if you want to jump in there, the links are all in that post as well. It'd be a pleasure to welcome you into any of those. They are all amazing. Oh, the morning calls. That's right, Sandy. Yes, the Relentless Badass 30-day challenge that is starting on the 13th of January. Thank you. That was a $400 saving. So for only $497, we talk every morning for a whole month, Monday through Friday, at 6 o'clock in the morning, and make sure that you've got your marching orders, you know exactly what you need to do every day in order for you to really, from not just what I've decided you should get, but clients have told me that they've got 3 months of work done in the space of a month because it's just focused. It's not about working more hours though. It's about being more efficient, being more effective, and being really focused on what it is that you need to do. And in actual fact, a lot of people have said that it's really created the space for them to feel a sense of achievement, but also to create more time because you're not spending time on shit that you don't need to do. You're not getting distracted by the shiny things, and you're another singing, and you're just doing what needs to be done. So thank you, Sandy, for reminding me. I had completely could not get the visual in my head with what it was that the offer was. So how freaking hilarious. So you will see the post from last night is that colorful one. Just find the photo and it's got all the descriptions in there, and then the links to either learn more or to join in and have some fun. So jump in on all of those, my friends, and I'm really excited to chat with you tomorrow. And there will be one more sleep left. I'm going to jump and do some journaling now so I can work out what the heck birthday surprise I can bring you for tomorrow. I think it's going to be pretty freaking awesome though. I've had some little inklings of thoughts today, but I just haven't mapped it out. So I think it's going to be really, really amazing. All right, get out there, go help some people, have a whole ton of fun doing it. Remember, only swear in your marketing or in your live videos or anywhere if it feels right and authentic to you. Don't do it just because it seems to be really trendy, right? Do it because it feels right for you. But most importantly, trust in the message. Don't censor it and just get it freaking out there, all right? Because the world is ready for your brand of awesomeness. I'll talk to you tomorrow, everyone. Bye. I love you. Bye.